And then I'm like talking so far away from my mic, so I have to make sure like stay in there.
Well, when it first happens, it looks like you shit yourself. Yeah. Like everybody's just looking at you like, what the fuck happened to him?
Straight prolapsing, like, oh, hello, everybody. Hopefully I didn't hear about the prolapsing part.
Right.
Ah. It's just, you got to push it back in there. You're good to go for the rest of your day. And that's how that started. So welcome to What's in the News. We're talking about prolapsed buttholes. Welcome, welcome. Right. Just seems to happen. Where do these hairs like longer? These like, you ever get hairs in your beard that are like longer than your actual beard, and you're like, where does this come from?
Yeah. You like you end up getting a thing and you pull the bastard and it's like this fucking long and your beard's like this. You're like, what the fuck? Looks like a damn crinkle cut fry and shit.
It like has like the zigzags look like a lightning bolt. I'm like, how does this happen? I don't understand it.
It's that one that was just sneaking in there like, you didn't cut me yet.
Snaky. Let's give it a minute so people start seeing the notifications.
Yeah.
I think I gotta rewick this thing today. Whoa. Oh yeah, I forgot. I fucking Jesus.
Jeez.
This is the gear I usually have at 35 watts, and I remember I was freaking blowing coils at 100 watts. Whoa. Hold on a sec. Holy
what the hell resistance do you have it at?
It was a 0.38.
Oh, fuck that. Here, hold on. Just to make you feel a little better. Hold on. Here, I've got a 0.62 with the Kelpie at 100 watts. How's that?
I was looking in there, and then I was like, see with the coils, I pressed the button and went, whoo! It said hello right in my face. I'm like, you stay in your assigned seat.
Ooh.
Okay, well, people are starting to come in. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of What's Your Story. Today, I am gratefully honored to be joined by Mr. 4000 himself.
Hashtag I'm still nobody.
What was that freaking, crap, what was that baseball movie with, what's his name? Mr. 3000. What was his name?
Oh, fuck. Oh, goddamn it, I know what you're talking about.
You like him on vaping, just not.
Yeah. I'm just like, I'm here, you know.
Fuck, what's his name? It's going to bother me now. Shit.
Oh, goddamn it. I know what. See, now I'm going to look it up, too. Jesus Christ.
Hold on, everybody. We got a quick Google break.
We're having a moment. God almighty. Hi, chatters.
Mr. 3000. Bernie Mac. That's what it is.
Yes.
Bernie frickin' Mac. He was funny.
Yes.
He was a funny dude.
Oh, man. Yes. Very much so.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. They're probably not going to be as busy because there's a few shows going on right now. I know that for sure.
Yeah, that's what replay's for. It's all good.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's do the damn thing. Welcome, everybody. As you can see, we are joined today by the Mr. Jared the Vaping Goat. Thank you for being here, my friend. It's always good to talk to you. Good to see you.
Yeah, man, I'm glad to be here with a man who literally has the best YouTube and Instagram name ever. I swear to God, your name is, like, the best.
It goes down in infamy.
I'm telling you, dude, your name is like the name that nobody could forget. Just be like, okay, there was this guy that said he was an animal, and then Poon Sauce McNasty. Like, that's just like, that's just there.
Yeah, it's funny because when the name's brought up, it's kind of one that's, they don't say my first name anymore. They don't, because they just enjoy saying Poon Sauce whenever they see me. It's like,
right.
They don't even say the full thing. It's like, once you get the first part in, there's no need to go any further.
Yeah. Well, see, like, I'm at the point now to where, like, people locally, and it's not like I'm a big reviewer, but there's friends of mine that live here locally that spread my name around to shops. So now if I go into, probably, I don't know, about 25% of the shops in town, somebody recognizes me, and it's usually an employee. And nobody ever says my name. All they scream across the damn shop is Goat. So it's just like I walk in, I hear, God! And I'm like, whoa! Calm down here.
Calm it down.
Yeah, the fat cripple has arrived. It's fine.
The cripple has arrived.
I'm telling you, man.
That's beautiful. Beautiful. So why don't we get into this damn thing? Jared, what the hell are you vaping on, my friend?
A bunch. I'll keep it to...
Stuff.
I'll keep it to 10. Okay.
Okay, that's good. Whatever.
Okay. Vaporesso Gen just got that in from Vaporesso on Monday.
How is that damn thing?
Dude, I like this mod. I've only had to charge the batteries once.
Is it comfy?
Yeah, it surprisingly is. Like, I honestly thought it was going to be a lot more rigid. It's really not. It's got a nice curvature to it, Yeah. Got the Kelpie sitting on top of that thingy. Mic bump, of course, because it wouldn't be me without it. I got the OhmVape Drill Foxy 150 with the Geek Vape Zeus X. Got the Jackaroo with the intake because I love that little setup. I'm kind of realizing I have like the reviewer thing going on right now. That's fucking great. I got the Bulk sitting on top of the Smolent Cylon. I got the Rebirth sitting on top of the Rinko Mechman.
Oh, the Rebirth.
Yeah, dude. I love that fucking tank. I have 2 of them now.
So I need like 3 more.
Dude, well, see, I've got the purple one that's not purple. It like heat treated itself. It came purple and it just turned into that. I have no idea what that's about. It is. I know. It's like because like it used to match the drip tip.
Really?
Yeah. When I got it, it matched the drip tip.
On the camera, it looks kind of brownish, but then
it is
in certain ways. You can see like the yellows and stuff.
Yeah, it's like a weird bronze color now. It's really strange. And even Mike Vapes was like, yeah, I've heard that happen a couple of times. Sorry. It was like, dude, I love it. It's fine. Let's see here. I got the Dead Goat. The Dead Goat combo kit there on top of a topside dual because that's a setup in itself. I got the Asgard 30mm on top of the Drone DNA 250C. Jesus, I really do have a lot of reviewer stuff going on in this. I've got Matt Culley's Passage. Yeah, like to suck on Matt Culley's Passage. Sitting on top of the Vasium. And then, of course, a couple of big tanks. Got the Titan on the Titan because that goes with me everywhere.
Cooler.
Right. It's like vaping on a Folgers can, man, with 4 batteries in it. It's great. And then for anybody cringing at Overhang, get fucked. I got the Riot Box Mod Stabwood PWM angry little setup with the Voltro V2 LE.
Jesus Christ.
It's only at like 280 watts.
Only 280 watts.
It's got a caramel apple flavor in it. Oh my God, it's so good. And that's me, man. That's the Buffett.
Okay, well, mine's going to be substantially less than that. So, just give you guys a little warning. First one I got is my Cyclone Mods Evo DNA 200 with the gear on top. Inside of there, I got some of that Superb White Peach. And then always my homage to Vapor Swaggins because he gifted this setup to me. I got my SQ 18650 with the Cyclone Mods Adderley on top. And inside of there, where the bottle go, some Free Range Vapors, Bad Mother Clucker. And then I got my monster setup. My stacked overpowered with the Glacier on top. Just ridiculous fucking thing. Just fucking ridiculous. It looks like a magic wand / baton.
We'll call you Gandalf. We'll call you Gandalf McNasty.
Yeah, right? And just knocked a bunch of bottles over some bitch. And inside of there, I got some of Overdrip, Uncle Chris's peanut butter custard. Inside of there. And what else do I got? I thought I had more. 1, 2. Oh, yeah, right here. I got my Broadside Brizzo with Daepoch 25. Gatorboard trip tip on in there.
That is a nice looking setup.
And then inside of there, I got some fried banana.
Well, see, like people question me how much I actually use my Titan because everybody's like, oh, it's not practical. I literally take this thing everywhere, okay? But when I tell people that I like it so much, you figure it's a 28 ml capacity, okay? I buy it in bottles of 500. So,
Spicy.
Yeah.
Fucking get the spatter.
I hate when it spatters you like all the way in the bicep.
Oh.
You're gonna hit it and you're like, oh fuck me, that was above the elbow. Christ.
Oh, that fucking peanut butter custard, man. Overdrip, I need the ultimate fucking peanut butter custard when it's done. God damn it.
Dude, I'm vaping a peanut butter Captain Crunch right now in the Kelpie. Oh my God. Yeah. It is so good. By the way, you need to come over to my Discord. You absolutely need to come over to my Discord because I can kind of get you hooked up with something.
Because I just have overcompensating mods.
No. We're men's hygienics products.
Overcompensation.
See, everybody always asks me, they're like, why don't you ever vape on mechs when you're doing live shows? And honestly, because if I have a mech, I chain vape on the thing like fucking crazy. I really, for some reason, if I get a mech in my hand, I'm just vaping it all the time.
The fucking purple heart drip tip? Oh my god.
Dude, that thing's sexy.
Yeah,
so I end up killing the fuck out of the battery before the end of the show. So I just don't vape on mechs while I'm on live shows because I don't want to sit there and run out of the damn thing and just be like, oh, fuck.
Hey, it happens, man. It really does. I just vape on whatever's in front of me.
Oh, no, if I did that, I'd have, where am I at right now? I've got these 10 plus, that'd be 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. I'd have 23 rolling.
I got mods sitting around that don't have batteries in them, and there's just a pile
of
batteries right here.
Yeah, no, this is all shit I could vape. Like, technically, right now, my wife is actually vaping more shit than me. She's vaping on, like, 29 setups.
Jesus.
Dude, she loves selection.
Yeah. Variety is the spice of life, I guess. Shit. Does each one have a different flavor in it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, all of mine have a different flavor in them, too. And no, I have not tried the Enigma yet, Mark. Oh, I want to so bad.
Oh, Chris's stuff?
Yeah.
Did you hear about what happened to his damn shop?
Dude.
Fuck, man.
Dude, yeah, I felt fucking terrible, man. I saw the pictures and was just like, oh, shit. So, of course, I was trying to make him feel better. I was fucking with him because now...
Hold on. We gotta be quiet now. Fucking Mike's in here.
Oh, shit.
Mike, what the fuck you want?
See, I don't even have to kick you in the balls, Mike. He's going to just...
No, he knows he deserves it. He knows he deserves it.
Hi, Mike.
Nice little fucking asshole-looking kind of fucking shit.
Dyer, what's up?
Dyer, you sexy bastard. How you doing, my friend? Why don't we get into finally why we're here today? You guys all know when I bring people on Saturdays, kind of bring them on, shoot the shit a little bit, but also to give them the opportunity to tell the world their vaping story. It's a cool thing that I think everybody deserves to share, and it kind of inspires people sometimes. That's why I enjoy doing it, and it's just it creates conversation.
Mine's like the most least inspirational story ever.
Hey,
I mean, it is and it isn't, you know.
You think about it though. Each person that tells their vaping story, each one needs something a little different than everybody else. That's why it's
it's like the one thing that I've done, I think more than anything else, not take away my channel, okay? Take the channel completely out of the equation. I've talked to so many people that have had that thought of starting their own channel, and they always question themselves. Everybody, when they first get into that, even me, before I started mine's always got that whole, should I do this? Can I do this? Am I capable of doing this? And I've talked to so many people, and I've watched these people start their channels and start doing their thing, and it's like, yeah, good for you, you know? That's the part I dig. I like helping.
Yeah. It's like, when I started my channel, I knew from the get-go that I didn't want to be a reviewer. I didn't want to do reviews. But I wanted to kind of just share what I thought about stuff that was going on with vape, advocacy-wise and all that stuff. So I wanted to share my opinion on stuff, get people informed on what's actually going on, kind of just shoot the shit with people for a while. And that's why, like, Wednesdays I do the What's in the News with me and Angry Hippie. It's always fun. It's Anthony Romola in here. Holy shit. What's up, man? Oh, yeah, he's at Vapors Carnival. Nice.
Oh.
I've heard some good shit about that thing. I've, like, from all the footage I've been seeing, I'm like, oh my god, I want to be there. Because it looks awesome.
Oh, every time I do a show, I run out of shit to drink.
Especially seeing, I can't believe like Carnival was busier than NVE.
Yeah, I heard him. I heard that NVE was rather slow.
It was weird. It had a weird vibe there. I'm telling you, it was weird.
Yeah, that judge casting a judgment out there was definitely not helpful to the overall vibe of the community. So
yeah, it kind of changed things a little bit.
Yeah, considering I popped right before NV started.
Yeah, and then
the
you
day
got
before.
Barstool showing up to the damn place, which...
Oh, dude.
I was there. When Jay was getting interviews, I was standing right behind the camera guy.
Dude, I wanted to punch that little cocksucker in his face. Just reach to the camera and just be like, no. Just straight up lying, too. No, man, that wasn't me. That fucking Jay calling him on his bullshit. I thought that was great.
It was bound to happen. That guy walked into NVE with a target on his back.
Dude, he's lucky Reaper didn't rip him over the counter and beat him to death.
I was waiting for Reaper to freaking take his face and shove it in the concrete.
Dude, I'm telling you,
the floor.
Reaper is one of those guys. Like he tries to keep that level head, you know. But you know, he is like about a half a step from bashing a motherfucker in the face if they're not behaving themselves. And he just like the look on his face was, oh, this poor bastard's about to die.
Hold on, saying the echo is bad. Hold on, let me fix that. Why is this happening to me all the time? Audio issues suck. Let's see. Uh-oh. Why did the screen go up? Never mind. The screen went black for a second. Oh, God. All it plays...
People ask why I don't do multicast live streams because I'm a stupid idiot with computers.
Okay, I'm hoping it's better now. We'll find out. I don't know. Apparently I was echoey. Well, I'm going to try to fix that. Let's fix something else.
That's why I wear earbuds. That way I don't have to worry about bleed, or headphones. That way I don't have to worry about bleed over.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm having a bottle of water. Oh, yes.
Okay, hopefully there's no audio issues now. Mike, if you can help me seeing if this is working.
What I was about to say.
Capturing. What? How does that make sense?
Hold on now. I'm about to go look. Looks fine to me.
I'm good now? Okay. Okay, he's good now. Cool. Okay, good. Okay, back to the main topic before things got all kabluggles and shit. So, lost my train of thought. God damn it. Hold on, make sure. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so my first question I always ask people who's on the show is, Jared, we all know that case. How long were you a smoker for, man?
21 years.
21 years?
Yep. I started when I was 16.
16 years old.
Technically started full-time smoking at 16. I was a part-time smoker starting at 10 though. But I had a buddy of mine whose grandma was always drunk and we were always stealing packs of cigarettes and like we'd smoke a cigarette a week kind of thing. So I really don't even really consider that smoking per se because it was just being dumbass kids. But I started full-time smoking funny enough, May of 1996. Makes me sound like an old fuck.
You started smoking when I was 3 years old.
Right. See? I told you it made me sound like an old fuck. Yeah, I'm 39, dude. Nobody ever believes it until they see me face to face and they actually see all the whites in my beard and they're like, Christ, you're going to be Santa Claus in 5 years.
Well, you kind of answered my question with how'd you get introduced to smoking because, okay, so what made you go from doing like the one cigarette a week on when you were 10 years old to when you were, was it 13 or 16?
16.
16 to how many packs a day were you by the time you were 16?
I actually went from like a cigarette a week to an entire pack a day in one night. I literally did. I had a friend of mine that was killed in a head-on car accident and just kind of snapped, got really drunk, started smoking, and just stuck with it. It was the truth of it. And by the time I quit smoking, I was 3.5 packs a day.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, my smoking budget was rather high. And I was buying like lung-killing, bargain basement cigarettes too.
Ooh. Fuck.
Yeah.
I always stuck to the Camel Crushes. Camel Crushes and freaking Marlboro Reds or something.
No, I smoked a brand called Bronson's. They're actually only sold in a convenience store called Quick Trips. So, yeah.
It's like an old couple sitting back, just taking old cigarettes, taking their tobacco, and like ones they've had sitting in like a...
Almost no one would bum a cigarette off of me. I swear to God, they would smoke one of my cigarettes and be like, I am never asking for a cigarette again.
Well, I guess that was the kind of thing to where it's like if anybody wanted to bum the cigarette off you, you're like, yeah, sure, try one. There's like, ah!
Yeah, pretty much.
Never mind, never again.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but so you smoked from 1996. How long? So you 20-something years?
21 years, yeah. I quit in 2017. And
Did
it was
you
actually...
ever try... Was vaping your first option, or was it you tried other things beforehand?
Honestly, I didn't try anything until 2012.
Okay.
And that was, I had an intracranial surgery to try to, it was like a corrective surgery, try to fix what now has me disabled. But I tried the patches because I knew I wasn't going to be able to smoke for a couple of weeks. So I tried the patches and those didn't do shit. So I tried the gums, that didn't do shit. And so my wife went and bought me this little cig-alike, and I swear to God, that was the throat hideous thing I've ever tried to use. And it was just some knockoff brand, something or other, I don't know, lit up like a cigarette, looked like a damn cigarette. And yeah, it was horrible. It was a rough couple of weeks, and I was like, I'm never doing that again. Nope. And I went right back to smoking as soon as I was allowed to. And yeah, did a second surgery and just kind of stopped smoking for 2 weeks, but went right back to it again because I was an idiot. I tried to quit smoking like 4 times. Just never worked until this.
Well, it's like when people tried, my mom did it cold turkey. I give her a lot of props for it because when she went to the doctor and she found out she had coronary artery disease and all that stuff because of smoking, her doctor asked her a question like, if you continue to do this, you won't see your kids graduate high school. So as she was driving home, she threw that pack of cigarettes out the window and didn't smoke since. So I give her huge props for having the motivation herself to be able to not need to take the step for vaping.
Yeah.
Like anybody who's willing to quit smoking and just quit in general, quit nicotine, quit anything out there, I give them huge props for that because it's not an easy thing to do.
Especially once you do it for a while, because it's not even so much. Anthony, we'll definitely talk about that if he's up for it. The Juul hearings. It doesn't even go down to the nicotine point of it at that point. If you smoke for beyond 10 years, there's so much of a habit and so much of an oral fixation behind it that even like I could vape zero nicotine right now and just straight up just juice only and I'd be just fine. But I could have done that when I started too, because it wasn't the nicotine, it was the oral fixation, it was the motions, it was just the feeling. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people blame the nicotine. They're like, oh, I just needed something to replace the nicotine. And sometimes that's really not the case, especially when you've been doing it for a while. It's more just like, I need this thing in my fucking hand. I need to, just,
It's like a lot of people, when they quit, I've heard a lot of things to where for them, it was the action of taking the cigarette, putting it up to your mouth, taking the cigarette, putting it up to your mouth. Yep. Waking up in the middle. What my mom used to do was she used to wake up in the middle of the night, like at 3 a.m, and sit on the couch and have a cigarette and then go back to bed. Mm-hmm. Like, I remember getting up at times and going to get a drink of water or something to drink from the kitchen and seeing my mom in the living room smoking a cigarette, just play it in the middle of the night, like literally wake her ass up from a sound sleep and go smoke a cigarette.
Yep.
It was insane. So, if you ever, anybody viewing in here, if you ever see somebody who is able to, it's always good to see somebody smoking and actually try to convince them to vape if they want to stick to something where you're getting your nicotine still, but it's a safer alternative. Mm-hmm. Of course, you're going to try to get them in the hiccups. Holy crap! In the vaping.
I just had the same problem.
But then, if you meet somebody out there who says they can do a cold turkey, don't try to push them to get on vaping still, because if they have that mindset to where they, in their head, that they can do this cold turkey, let them try it.
No.
Because if you can get, because we know it's 95% safer, so there's obviously that 5% to where stuff can still happen. And if somebody out there who is willing to quit vaping at all, throughout everything, and not even go to vaping and just quit smoking in general, we should 100% support that.
Oh yeah,
because that's a question we've always asked ourselves. We kind of thought about, when you see yourself in 10 years from now, do you see yourself vaping in 10 years? I don't know.
I do. I actually do.
There's times where I think about it where I look at myself and be like, hell yeah, the way my mind is right then, I'll be like, yeah, sure. But there's other times where it's like, if I have a family and kind of thing, where it's like, trying to change things in my life. Do I see vaping coming along with me? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just wherever life takes me. That's where I would think about it.
Yeah, and that's the growth of the as an adult in general. You know, you hit the adult world, and what's in your hand at that moment, and what you're doing at that moment is where your mindset is. But where are you going to be in 10 years? You're right. Yeah, you don't know. Me personally, I found purpose with vaping.
Yeah,
I truly did. Like that. I love vaping just simply for the flavors. I really do. I don't give a shit if I got nicotine or not at this point. I just love it for the flavors.
Like when I've started doing like this kind of with my YouTube and everything, and like how passionate I've gotten with, I've never showed really passion with anything besides when I was growing up. It was like sports was kind of like, it wasn't a passion, it was like kind of pushed on to like by my father and everything, to where it's like, okay, you're a kid, you're playing sports, you're gonna do it for over 10 years, and then you're kind of how every dad wants their kid to be, is to play sports their whole life and then move on to a league, or like be playing in major sports. So I did that for 9 years. I played baseball for 9 years, and then I stopped for like a few years and tried doing it in high school. Wasn't able to do it. Just kind of lost the niche. So from there on, I never really found a passion in anything. I was kind of just living life as it is in the middle, like in the moment. But once I started vaping, it's something that I've found passion in. I found where I belong, I feel like, too. So it's like the people I've talked to, the people I've met through vaping are people that I feel like would be friends for the rest of my life. Like some like the guys off the Ohmies, I can see us all sitting like at a retirement home one day. Minus Aziz, unless he decides to move to the U.S. We can all be sitting in a retirement home one day, like 80-year-old guys sitting on the freaking front porch and rocking chairs, and still act like we are now. That's the kind of friendship I see between us. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, would I have ever found these kind of friendships through anything else? No, I don't think I would, because I'm finding people just as passionate in this industry as I am.
Yeah, it's that community aspect that I talk about all the time. It's unlike anything else in the world. Something about vaping, and it's no different than life. Like some people want to completely make the vaping community out like this ever so embracing thing, which it is to a point, but there's still cliques. There's still the high end guys. There's the mainstream guys. There's the dickhead team free shitters out there that are just like that in real life. I mean, with everything else. So there's still little hiccups here and there, and groups and stuff like that. But for the most part, the community always gets together. When we need it the most is when we all band together and try to help each other. Except for some reason with advocacy.
It's a tough.
I know. It breaks your fucking head just even thinking about it.
It's tough. It's a thing where all you want people to do is just a little bit of something. Do a little bit more than you're doing now.
Yeah.
You don't need to go straight out and starting YouTube about advocacy or going to every single legislation meeting that is going on. No, that's not what we're expecting you to do.
Just do your part.
Keep people informed.
Yeah.
Stay knowledgeable and inform people that have gotten the misinformation.
Oh yeah, I've been thrown out of 3 vape shops so far. Just by talking to people. And it's like, fine, you know what? I'll talk to them in the parking lot, get fucked. That's what I do, man.
We all want people to do more. And it's kind of because we all know, like, every news thing that comes out, it's always bad news. It's always something that's happening against us, but it's like we're always standing there with our backs against the brick wall. Mm-hmm. But we can't let that. That's why I feel like nobody bands together really, and with advocacy, because when everybody feels like they've given up. That's what MVE felt like to me.
Yeah,
it felt like a room full of people who have given up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people just kind of waiting for the end game to play out. Yeah, I saw a few of the videos from MVE, and it was just like, oh, that is not a good turnout at all. It was just like, oh Christ, that's not good.
And it was just back in the day when I used to go to shows, people behind the booths used to be so enthusiastic, used to love what they were doing, being there, being able to promote a product and just have fun and enjoy what the industry was doing at the time. But now people are, when I see people behind the booths, it's usually just people sitting around on their computers and stuff, and it's like, I understand they probably didn't have much to do because it wasn't as busy, but it kind of didn't help with them with Long Island being like kind of a congested area too.
Yeah.
The area wasn't the best because there's one highway in and out, and that highway is always packed as fuck. Like it was supposed to be like from Nick's house. It was supposed to be like maybe a 2.5 hour drive, 2.5 3 hours. Ended up being like 3.5 4 because of just freaking traffic.
Well, it's like I'm going to the actual the Midwest Vapor showcase, and that's in September.
In Iowa.
Yeah, and that for me is a 3 hour drive for me. So depending on room and board and all that, because we're still working that part of the side of it out. But for me, I could literally just drive there and then drive back home and then go back the next day if I wanted to.
Yeah.
And it would actually cost me less than a motel room. So, but we're going with like an entire entourage of like 15 people. So that place has no idea what they're in for.
Yes. Back in the day, expos used to be fun. They still are fun because I get to see people that I've grown relationships with through YouTube and Instagram and all that stuff. So it's always good to see people that put faces to the names and all that stuff. It's just, with all the things that are going on, it's kind of like just seeing a bunch of people that are defeated just sucks because you can see it on their faces to where they don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah, and the crazy part of it is that, yes, it's a very, very ugly situation that we're in right now, but it's a situation that could have been prevented in a way, but a lot of new money, that's, to be perfectly honest, my opinion is this industry has a lot of new money in it, and a lot of people that don't know really the best way to manage that money for the future, and that's really, really what hurts, because this whole PMTA thing alone, how many companies from 2016 to present could have already had this done, should have already had this done. I mean, there's so much with the industry in itself that hurt itself, and then the government finally just said, fuck it, And of course, now they took it in a direction that a lot of us didn't expect with the whole do it, so we're trying to save the kids bit. When that bullshit popped up, we were like, oh God, here we go.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, like, it's like you said, every time we see the news, it always seems bad. This week was like the first time I haven't seen nothing but horrible news. Like watching Juul get grilled was just fucking beautiful to me. Because I am a big time anti-Juul person. I am. I fucking hate that company. I think they're the bane of the existence of the industry. I personally do.
They have their place.
They do, but it's like the way they practice.
It's not in our industry. They shouldn't be considered. It sucks because you want to consider them just not a vapor company, but I would want to consider them like a nicotine sensation company, just like a nicotine alternative company, and not call them a vape company because it's the guys who do packs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because they're not really into it in the level we are with carrying, but they have the money. I mean, it sucks to say, but I'd like to see them a part of the fighting because of their wallets right now. So it's a thing to where I'd like to see that happen, but I'd also like to see them not involved with this industry because, in my opinion, the whole nicotine salt thing is what started the downfall of this industry. Oh yeah. It's been a landslide. Put the nail in the coffin for us. It was a sad thing. It wasn't necessary. To me, there's nothing wrong with freebase, and it's one of those things to where, I mean, back when me and you started, there was nothing but freebase. Yeah. If you were looking for high nic stuff, you were getting a 50-50, like an 18 to 24 milligram.
Yeah, well, and like the funny thing is I actually started vaping May of 17, so Juul was still pretty new. I mean, because they hit late 2016, if I remember right. So nic salts were like a Juul only thing at the time. Like the pod systems hadn't really grown. That whole unsustainable side of the market just had not really exploded yet. Everybody was still more focused into all-in-ones and starter kits and into the hobbyist side of RDAs and RTAs and mods and things of that nature. And when people started realizing how much money Juul was making, because they had just basically cornered the piss out of the market, when people saw how much the gross profit amount of that money, of that company was, they were like, "Oh, piss on this, we're doing this." So, and now it's like every company has a pod system, and everybody's got a coil that'll handle Nick salts, and and it's
every
just
device has a compatible pod to it.
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh my God, get out of here with that shit.
But this brings it back to more of the main topic of today's show.
Yeah.
With when you started vaping and everything. So what got you introduced to vaping?
A car.
A car?
A car. Literally, a car. A car and my son. I'll say it that way. My wife was a pack-a-day smoker. I was a 3.5 pack-a-day smoker. And our car smelled like dirty ashtrays. Like any other smoker's car does. You get in the car and it just stinks. And we had gone through a couple of shitty cars for her, and it was, car blew, her present car at the time had blown a head gasket, and the tranny was going out on it. And it was like, fuck it, we're going to get you a new car. And we got this new car, and the first thing she said is, we're not smoking in this thing. I don't want it to smell like every other damn car I've had for a while. We're not going to smoke in this car. And I said, okay, that's going to suck for road trips, but okay. So my son had actually been vaping for a couple of months, totally legal age. And he was using a Joytech Ego AIO, that piece of shit, but it was functional, and he was like, try this. And, of course, that first vapor's hit. That first time you hit it, you hack like an idiot. And, of course, he's vaping like 12 milligram or something like that. And, of course, I go to the vape shop. Me and my wife would both go to the vape shop, and we're looking for that device. And I don't know, man, there was other all-in-one systems out there, and the vape shop that we chose to go to was a really shitty vape shop. So, of course, they're just like, oh, yeah, we got a bunch of these. Yeah, here you go. Just sell it on and get it done. And so I literally vaped off an all-in-one kit for 7 days, and I went straight to a box mod with a sub-ohm tank because I just couldn't do it. I was just like, this thing sucks so bad.
So what was that setup that was the clincher for you?
Well, honestly, I still have the mod. Anakin MVP4. That's actually my first box mod. You can tell by the wear, too.
Yeah, that's...
Still works.
Was there a tank that came with it?
No, actually, the reason that I got it is because it sounds really stupid, but I was horrible about charging my cell phone, and I worked at a tow lot, so there was like all the plugs were used. So this thing is actually it's a internal battery mod that's also a power bank, so I could charge my phone off the damn thing. So I could make sure my phone wasn't dead. So it was just like, it seemed like a really good idea. And the tank that I bought was, of all tanks, TFB8 little baby beast. Yeah. And, and of course, I started, my first juice actually that I tried with the Ego AIO, and I moved it to the sub-ohm tank, was actually Mad Hatter's I Love Donut, 12 milligram.
Oh, yeah, jeez.
Dude, that was some throat-hitty shit, man. Tasted really good, but oh my God, that stuff was like getting punched in the throat by Chuck Norris. It was bad, man. It was like, oh, wow. But I realized, like, I'm one of those few people that I went from an all-in-one, 7 days later, I'm in a sub-ohm tank vaping at like a 0.15. And then I went from a 12 milligram to a 3 milligram in a month. Like, and again, I'm that nutbag that not even 5 months into vaping, I had a YouTube channel. And everybody's like, what gives you the right,
Just taking people along for the journey.
Right.
Learning new things. Why not share your experiences with other people? Because some people might be having the same problems, and you're willing to share what those problems are. And
I got dared into my channel, so I was doing these stupid little Facebook videos, and everybody, a couple of admins of, I was helping guys run a couple of Facebook groups, and they were like, "Man, you're always putting these videos, and all these people are always commenting and reacting and everything else. You just go start a YouTube channel." I was like, "Ain't nobody gonna listen to me," and. Yeah, for like 3 months, I think I was up to maybe, 85 subs or something like that in the first 3 months. And then I started getting shout outs, and it just went, it was like, holy fuck. But I'd also put out 250 fucking videos at that point too. So yeah, it was nuts. So
yeah, that's a crazy fucking thing, man. The way you put out videos is insane. I'm like, I feel like most of his life is just editing.
And it's not. That's the funniest thing about it. Like, me and James were talking about that last week. I actually have it down to where I can shoot an entire week's worth of reviews in about 2 hours. If I have a bunch of foul ups, it's more like 3 hours. And then the way my now present computer is running, I can edit the entire week's worth of reviews in about an hour and a half. Because all I do is I just I don't do any cool transitions. My intro is part of my first shot. So it's just like everything's very seamless. So it's just like basically all I'm doing is editing 3 video clips together and then done. I don't do anything crazy. So it's really quick.
Well, the thing is, with your videos, they're not trying to reinvent the wheel with like quality and that kind of stuff. You're wanting just to put out good content.
Yeah, that's my whole point. I don't want to make a show of it. I really don't. I just keep it simple. I keep it very, very basic. I don't care about the quality of the video. The audio, people want to hear what the hell's going on, so you don't want that to be nuts.
Yeah, you're going to want the quality of your hardware they're using to make the videos good.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they'll make the experience for the viewer that much better, of course.
Yeah. So, but it's like, people with all these crazy ass cameras and everything. And it's just like, man, if you want to spend that kind of money, that's great. But if you just know how to adjust your shit, it's like, you see my video quality right now. Not bad, and this is a basic Logitech C920 webcam.
That's what I'm using.
Yeah, works just fucking fine.
Yeah. C920 with a snowball. That's what I run.
Yeah, and I'm running a C920 with a Blue Yeti blackout.
Yeah, I need to eventually move to the Blue Yeti. It's just...
It's a good mic, but man, is it sensitive. You really gotta kind of play with your audio settings with it.
Mm-hmm. It's just one of those things. It's just there's so much things that goes into it to where, hey, that's all you want to do is just put out good content for the viewer, and that's what I try to do. It's a struggle because you're trying to think about things to make everything interesting every week. You just got to keep trucking along like you do. It's like you just because eventually you'll get there. Like your shows, I was surprised with the amount of videos you put out, with the amount of info you put out. I was surprised you didn't hit 4,000 a lot sooner.
Well, yeah, and like a lot of people told me that, and I didn't believe them. I truthfully did not. The first reviewer, the first bigger reviewer to ever reach out to me was Jay Hayes, of all people, and it was honestly because I did a really stupid video when I had probably 38 subs or some shit. I watched one video of his. I had no idea what he was about. And I did this total off-handled learning curve, stupid video calling him a douchebag and everything else. And I went back after like 3 months. It was basically at the end of 2017. And I went back and I was like, okay, what videos can I take out that are just shit, And that was actually one of the videos, but I was doing more reviews at the time. So I forgot to delete the video. And Jay ended up finding the video. I think one of his hazers told him about it. And it was the most professional response I've ever seen in my life. Like, he was like, hey, man, if you don't like the way I do things, that's fine. I've got my way, you've got your way, and that's all good. It was like, but at that point, I had been watching him a lot more. So it was like, oh, fuck. Oh, man, I feel like a total dickbag. But he actually reached out to me on Facebook Messenger and called me, and we had like this 45-minute talk. And, and it was just like, he gave me some really good pointers, and it was like, cool, And then at the very end of the year, somebody asked me to do a video that I did not want to do because the first time I talked about a reviewer, I looked like a total dickhead. But people wanted me to pick my top 4 favorite reviewers. And I'm like, I don't want to do this. This is going to go so wrong. And I did it. And next thing I know, 3 of the 4 reviewers actually contacted me. And they started shouting me out because they realized how much shit I was putting out. And they were like, dude, your work ethic's insane. They're like, why are you doing so many videos? And I was like, what's wrong with that? And the first time I was actually on Not Another Vape Show, Nick had actually told me, he was like, you realize you have like half the videos that I do. And I've been around for 5 years. I was like, Paul? I never paid attention to it. I thought it was like totally normal to put out that much stuff, So I was just like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe I should back it down a little because what I was doing was insanely unsustainable. It really was.
Like 20 videos a week, like 4 videos a day at times.
Yeah, there was a couple of times. I think the most I ever put out in a week was 36 videos.
That's insane.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It's unsustainable to the core. I don't recommend that anybody ever do that. Ever.
That's crazy, man. It really is. It's like that just shows dedication. That shows somebody who's dedicated to their craft.
Yeah, and what kills me is that
the punch out content. Like,
yeah, I started like you. I started with blogs. I started talking about advocacy. I started about vape shops. Just what people asked me to talk about. And when I got into reviews, I came to this really, really ugly conclusion of one thing, and it's really what I've built my channel on: budget vaping. It's the one thing that nobody talks about. And it's the one thing that is the biggest problem for our industry as far as from the vapor standpoint. You go into a brick and mortar. What's the one thing a brick and mortar usually has a ton of? Old equipment. They got stuff that's just been sitting on the shelf for 2 or 3 fucking years that they'd love to move, but nobody. You go back and watch a review on a device from 3 years ago, it's going to be relevant 3 years ago.
Yeah.
That review has no relevance to today. So that's really like I obviously I review stuff from today's age, but whenever I don't have product in my hand that's newer stuff, I go back to stuff that's 3-4 years old, and I'll do 2-3 weeks of retro reviews just to prove if the device is actually relevant and worth $5, $10, $15, whatever the hell you can find it for, to help people actually make a more informed decision rather than just buy the thing and hope.
Yeah, it's the thing. So you never think, because you're trying to get to an audience that isn't really talked about often. It's getting to an audience who, they're going through financial struggles, so you want to still be able to put out content for them where they can get a hold of it, and they are not going to be killing their wallets, and they're still going to get that satisfying vape. They're going to know they're going to get their hands on something to where they're going to enjoy it, and you're not going to have to worry about, it's been sitting on their shelf for years. It's not going to work. It's not going to be shit.
Yeah.
That's what you strive for. I like that you're into getting to the audience on the budget vapor, because
I call them my people.
There's times now where I'm that budget vapor where I don't want to freaking buy anything. I'm perfectly content with what I have right now. But then I go to an expo and I see something like, ooh, shiny.
Exactly, the new shiny. That's the thing. That's
or the new stack from a new stack from Deathwish comes out. I'm like, ooh, I have to get my hands on it because there's carvings and engravings and there's a pentagram on there. Of course, I have to get my hands on it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, the present review scene, for the most part, everybody wants to see that new shiny. They want to see what the next step of potential innovation is, or what that next step for that particular company is, and what direction they're going. I mean, so of course, I'm more than happy to do those reviews, but at the same time, I've had people ask me time and time again. They're like, "Don't you have a problem being behind the times when it comes to newer devices?" And my response is always no. I actually prefer to get a retail package. I prefer to get a retail model, even if it's 6 months old, because I get to see what most reviewers don't. And that's the basis of what people are going through on social media alone. Let's say we'll use this as an example, and this isn't the truth by any means, but the Vapor SO Gen. Okay. This mod looks good, feels good. The new reviewers get their hands on it, and they're like, the guys that are top tier reviewers, Mike Vapes, Fagan, Jay Hayes. Well, Jay Hayes doesn't get a lot from companies, but you know what I'm talking. I mean, the higher tier reviewer guys that get the stuff before it ever even releases, and they see what's in their hand. They don't see, the long term usage. They don't see after somebody's put 5,000 puffs on a device, all of a sudden the chipset fries up, and burns out a battery, and since sailing through your car, So I get the advantage of actually being completely content with being behind the times and understanding and seeing what people go through. And then I'll review the product, not only from my perspective of using the device, but what the industry's already been seeing going through the device as well.
The thing is, too, to where you're getting your hands onto something that, so like say you're trying to get something new that you want to review, like all the big reviewers out there, they're getting something that's not the retail version.
Yeah.
And they're getting something, and a reviewer puts a review out for it, or puts their thoughts out on a vlog or something where, I don't like this, and then you get the company commenting, well, this isn't the retail version, this is something that's changed. People are watching reviews of something that is not going to be what the viewer is talking about when it's released.
Yep.
So what you're doing is you're waiting until something's released. You're putting your time into the device, because you're not going to vape this for a week and then be like, okay, I have my full opinion on it, because then 3 weeks down the road, it can shit out on you.
Yep.
You want to put that time
perfect
into
example.
A device. You want to put like a month or two into a device where you're using it nonstop, putting it through its paces. Mm-hmm. When I hear people say put it through your paces, I feel like they're not putting it through its paces enough. You need to put into hours and hours of constantly using it before you put it through its paces. You can't use it for a week and only use it when you go home, where it's only just when you're working a mod, or when you're at work and you're bringing this with you. That's not the kind of that's not the way it works to me. It's the where when you're putting something through its paces, it's in your hand for a good month straight. Like, this is the dedicated mod I'm going to use. Yep. I know for some reviewers it doesn't work that way, because the amount of shit they get is just immaculate, to where they can't do that and keep up with it.
Yeah, well, and like me, I drive my wife nuts because whenever I get a review pack in, like we'll use Element Vape. One thing I do with my channel with the newer stuff is that I let my subs tell me what to review. I don't pick it myself. Unless it's just kind of a slow 6-week period where there's not so much stuff grabbing attention. I might ask for one or two things on my own behest, but 99% of the time, my subscribers tell me what to review. They email me, and I just basically keep a tally, and whatever the highest requested stuff is what I request. Simple as that. So that way, I know that I'm reviewing what they're asking me to review, rather than they just come to my channel and be like, "I don't give a fuck about that." No, there's people that are asking me to do it, so I'm gonna fucking do it. And yeah, it's like I drive my wife nuts because I literally carry like 6 to 8 mods around the house everywhere I go. Like my pockets are all full of mods, and it's always the newest stuff that I've got. And people are like, "What's the worst thing about being a reviewer?" From my perspective, the way that I do it, I never get to vape the setups that I want to because I'm always vaping. I'm always vaping new shit.
Because you find something that can be your new all day. Like, yep, I can. If I stopped and like how Grim says, if the aliens came and frickin' took all his vape gear, he'd be content for them leaving that one setup. Yeah, it's like you don't have the time to enjoy something that you got a week ago that you're like, I'm fucking loving this.
Yeah. And other times you get a device.
That's the downfall of being a reviewer. Like, people think that being the reviewer is all fucking crazy awesomeness where you're just getting everything for free. No, that's not the case at times. No. It's a hard fucking job. I have a lot of good friends that are reviewers, and like just I've seen them go through the paces and everything. It's a tough fucking. It's like where you make it a job.
Oh yeah,
it's not
because I'm retired anyway. So this really kind of is like this. This is in lieu of a job for me, So it's like I spend all of my spare time vaping, all of it. I'm either doing yard work with my wife, or I'm getting a little family time. Kick back, watch some TV, or just chit chatting about what's how my wife's day was, or something like that. Or I'm working on a damn car. But I'm always vaping. That is always with me all the time. And it's always this new stuff that comes in. And it's just like, and people are like, "Oh, well, we know you got all this free stuff laying around." Motherfucker, my last giveaway had 26 devices in it. I give people Christmas when I do giveaways. Yeah. I'm not like, "Here, you want an RTA?" I'm like, "No, you're going to get like 3 RTAs, 2 drippers, 4 pod systems, a couple of starter kits. I'm going to send you a battery charger." I just pack as much as I can into a box. The last guy that won from me, he literally laid it out on a beach towel in his yard, and it took up the whole towel. He was like, "Holy shit, man." And he actually re-gifted. He took the pod systems that I sent him, and he actually gifted them and helped transition like 3 new vapors.
That is fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was like, "Hey, dude, that's, once this stuff's in your hand, if you want to sell it, sell it. If you want to fucking,
that's the definition of paying it forward right there."
Exactly. And that was his point. He was like, "There's no way I'm going to use this much stuff. So I'm going to help people with stuff that I don't want. I'm going to help them. If their gear's fucked up, I'm going to give them a new setup. If it's somebody smoking trying to quit, I'm going to give them a pod system, And I thought that was really cool. Like, he actually sent me pictures, showing me a couple of the people that he was, arm in arm with. Here's their pod system. And I was like, it's awesome,
It's always a satisfying feeling when you see the work that you put into it, and then you're getting the product and actually being able to give it away, and then seeing it put into use to where there's no other satisfying feeling out there but seeing a product that you've gotten to review, and they always send like 3 or 4 to where you can give it to your viewers and all that stuff, and seeing it be put to somebody who's making the transition.
Yeah.
There's nothing in the vape industry that can top that feeling.
Honestly, the most satisfying thing to me is when, because for some reason I have a weird knack with RTAs. I don't know what it is with wicking. I can wick pretty much any damn RTA you put in front of me. It doesn't matter how weird it is. Well, okay, there's one deck for the Kumo RTA that whip my ass, but aside from that thing, I can wick pretty much any damn thing you put in front of me, usually first shot. So I keep, I always try different ways whenever I get RTAs. I'll spend more time with RTAs and RDAs because RDAs are pretty self-explanatory. It's just coil position more than anything. Mm-hmm. So, but RTAs is all about that wicking. It is coil position, but it's really all about that wicking.
Like at first, when I got this gear RTA, I was struggling with the wicking.
Dude,
until Overdrip Chris told me, when you put the wicks in, just take your tweezers and just poke a hole.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do. Something to get the air in there. And once I did that, the flavor of this thing jacked up from like a 4 to like a 15.
Yeah, I literally all I do is damn the wicking ports. I don't like there is no wicking hanging underneath that deck at all. It's literally just I wet the damn cotton and I just set it over the fucking hole and that's it. You do that, that son of a bitch will blow your mind with flavor. And the Kelpie, it's it's like the Kylan or the Kylan Mini or the Bulk or anything like that. Wicking channels. It's all about getting just that precise amount of cotton in a wicking channel to do the job properly. If you put too much, it's going to mute or dry head. If you put too little, it's going to flood. And for some reason, wicking channels break people's heads. They're like, I don't understand why it's not doing it. And the most satisfying thing for me is when I get a device that I know people are struggling with, or I know people may struggle with, and then I get like 10 messages that are like, dude, you literally saved me from throwing this tank in the trash. You've made my experience so much better. For me, that is better than ever being paid, because I don't get paid to do this anyway. So, that's truly the most satisfying thing for me.
Robert was like trying to do a stainless steel wick in a Jenny. That'll make you question your skills.
Hey man, you know what? I've heard.
If any of you viewers are like subscribers of Jared and like want to send him stuff to do it, get him some stuff that will question his wicking methods with our team.
Hey man, I love a challenge. Even if I get my ass kicked
to work.
Yes. I have taken on devices to where I swore up and down I was not going to get them right, and I nailed them, and it's like, okay, I have no idea how the fuck I just did that. But and then other devices look so easy, and then it's like it takes 4 shots to get the wicking right. It's like, you sack of shit,
When like something that looks fucking difficult and you get it down the first time, like, really, people are struggling with this?
Yeah. And then the worst part is you go to re-wick it and you fuck it up, and you're like, oh great, what did I do the first time? Damn it!
Like it was just some miracle luck thing that happened where you're like, shit, I got this right the first time. I haven't gotten it right since.
Yep, exactly.
Like, did I just get lucky? What happened? I don't know. And everything factors in with that kind of thing too. Like it could depend on the cotton. It could depend on what kind of coils you're using too. Everything factors in that kind of thing. Like
people give Jay Hayes shit all the time because they're always telling him he's over wicking stuff. But unless he's not kidding, unless you actually use,
I always thought he was under wicking it.
Yeah, and like I have actually here.
You got the cotton that he uses?
Yeah, I do.
Did you get it out of your mattress too? Because that's all I think of when I see his cotton.
Oh, I gotta find it now. Goddammit. It's in a little tin.
I mean, for me, I've tried other stuff. Like this stuff, Stan sent me because he probably hates it, but it's just I don't know. I'm always torn between it because this stuff is just like you either love it or you hate it. I am not the biggest fan of it.
Oh, Kendo. Yeah, I've used Kendo. I find Kendo to be a little organic.
Yeah.
And look,
I don't like how it tears so easily. Just see, that is literally something you tear open a pillow, and you're like, okay, I have wicking material.
Cotton tumor.
That's literally what it is. But if I had to pick a cotton that I can always rely on, I can always say I have never had any problems with it pulling, tearing on me as I'm putting it through a coil.
Yeah. Yeah, and see, funny enough.
Always, never fucking fails.
There's my go-to.
See, that always gives it like a weird... I don't like handling it in my hands because it's just a weird feeling.
Yeah, like that this Maviton's X, the stuff that Jay uses, people give him shit all the time. The problem is it's like $20 for this little can. Okay, like it's not cheap at all. But until you use the cotton, you don't get to speak on it because it's a very, very different cotton. The first time I used it in an RTA, I wanted to fucking just shoot the damn thing because it just leaked like crazy. I was like, what the hell? I'm wicking it just like I would any other device. But it's a different consistency. It's just straight up raw ass cotton. It's just like, oh, okay, yeah, okay. It's a learning curve with that stuff. It really is. Swaggins, what's up, buddy?
Oh, Swaggy. Hello.
Hi.
It's just like with RTAs, there's one RTA that because my main goal for 2019 was I wanted to experiment with RTAs more. I wanted to, because I was always mech. Like, before I started getting the mech mods, thanks to Stan, because the fucking Dreamer asshole.
That's a great mod.
I own 3 of them. And Like, my first experimenting with a freaking Mutation 26650 mech with a freaking 22 Kennedy on that fucking thing. It literally looked like a penis with the head was shrunken. It was the weirdest fucking thing, and that thing chucked for what it was. I had freaking round wire build. That was my experiment. That was my introducing with the mech tube, was a 26650 mech with like just a thick freaking girthy thing with a 22 millimeter Kennedy on there that looked the most weirdest fucking thing you could ever see in your life. Like a copper Mutation with a stainless steel Kennedy on it. That was my mech setup.
No.
That was what I did. And then I got a hold of the Dreamer, and then I got all mech crazy, but and so got into that, and then like before I got into the mechs, I was always using regulated, because regulated and RDAs. But this year I wanted to make a thing to where they also had a wedding at the what? God damn it, Anthony! Why are you throwing me off my topic? A wedding at Vapors Carnival. That is a first, ladies and gentlemen. I've never heard of a wedding happening at an expo.
I'm not mad at him.
Hey, but that's cool as fuck. That's going to be kind of awkward to explain to the children when you guys get married, but hey. You do you. You do you.
Vaping truly did bring us together.
Hey. I know people are passionate about it, but damn.
Yeah, see, I like doing weird shit with devices. Like, you know, okay, like what really triggered me on that was the Nudge 22. People swore up and down that you couldn't stick big exotic coils in the Nudge 22 just because of the post design and everything else. And a subscriber had sent me this insane pair of staple staggered fuse claptons. They were just nuts. I mean, like if you put them in a duel, it would have been like
I never have any problems with big coils, because this is the Death Wish. They're infected mods. They're series 2700, 2650 mods.
Yeah.
Bo, my dude, part of the Death Wish team. He's an awesome guy. He's just, whenever you see him, whenever you're looking through, like at an expo, you're seeing Vapors Cloud and Deathwish and everything. He's just a big fucking dude with a long ass fucking beard, just fucking building coils and talking about Deathwish, because Deathwish is his fucking life.
Yeah.
Bought this in Houston when I went with Stan and all them. We went to a showcase, but then bought the setup from in Houston. But he decided let's see if we can get this big motherfucker to. It's like a 6mm inner diameter coil on a series. You can literally, I can see you through it.
Yeah,
perfectly clear.
I actually, I have a 6mm masonry bit that I use for a jig.
And it's the thing on a series. This thing foams out to like a 0.47, and it vapes fucking fantastic. It does. For having such a big coil and such this is a 26mm Addy. This is what is this? This is the Death Trap V2, yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah, this is the Death Trap, yeah. Yeah, yep, Death Trap V2.
Yep.
And I fucking love it, because the way I would look at it is you put a smaller coil in there, and it would probably seem turbulent. You need to cut down airflow, otherwise it would be freaking airy as shit.
Yeah, it's a lot of space.
But when you have such a big coil in there, it works. It fucking works.
Flavor's amazing. Well, see, my buddy Brian picked up a Supreme V2 RTA or DTA, but he picked up a Supreme V2, and he got all three build decks. He got the Postus deck, the Velocity deck, and the single coil deck. And he kept telling me, he's like, "I'm going to stick a 6mm coil in this thing." I was like, "The fuck you are? Not in that single coil deck, no sir." And he was like, no, I'm going to do it. And I was like, no, you're not. I'm telling you, it won't fit. So I stuck a 5mm inner diameter coil, and it was a tricore fuse clapped, and it was like 8 wraps, and it came out to like a fucking 0.72 or some shit. And he was like, that is insane. I was like, vape that thing at 55 watts. I promise you, you're going to love it. And he cut the airflow down a little bit, vaped it at 55, and he's like, this is like one of the most amazing vapes I've ever had. And he gets like 3 days out of his batteries now.
Like, people always give M-Turk shit about his aliens being 2.5mm. But he always says things. Mass is fucking key.
Yeah.
You don't need to have a 3mm 0.1 to have a good fucking single tube vape. You can get a 2.5mm alien that's like a 0.13 and still get the same kind of vape you'd be getting off a 0.13mm in a single tube.
Yeah. Well, see, like my Voltrove. My Voltrove has a dual 6mm build in it. It's got a dual 6mm tricore fuse. It's a triple 28 wrapped in a 40 nichrome 80, and it comes out to like I want to say it's a 0.41 or 0.42. And I'm running it at 70 duty cycles, and it's like fucking 250 watts or some shit, or 280 watts. You would think it would be a really, really spicy vape, but it's actually not with the amount of airflow this tank has, but it's a lot of flavor because you got a lot of surface area.
Well, you think about it too. There's a lot of surface area, but the wire's thin. It's a thinner wire, so you're not needing as much heat to heat it up. If you're using if you're using like 22 gauge wrapped in like, I don't know, 28 or something crazy to where it's going to be a beefier coil, you're going to need more power to put through it. So I can understand you would be putting that much, like if you're using that kind of coil in there, running it at like 80 to 90 duty cycles. I can completely understand that because that's the power you're going to need to let those coils run. Yeah, it's all about the voltage. When you start, and that's the thing that people don't ever understand is it's like, they don't want to equate, resistance compared to voltage. They just think, okay, well, this is the resistance I got to have. I don't care what the voltage is. I just got to make sure that I've got this resistance for this much amperage. And it's like, no, you know what? That resistance comparative to the voltage is really, really a big determining factor, especially once you start getting into higher resistances. That's what frustrates me about all-in-one kits. They'll send you these little tiny starter kits. Perfect example, the Vapor Lux Nano. Okay, they send you a 0.15 coil with an 80-watt max device. It's an inboard battery mod. And it's like, okay, 75-watt max coil, so it's not pulling that much voltage, but the amount of wattage and the amount of amperage that it's drawing because of the lower resistance, it's going to just fucking destroy and eat the battery like it's candy. Put a 0.35 in that thing, and you're going to be more based on the voltage side and not near as much pull of amperage on the son of a bitch, and it's going to level that mod out so much better. So, a lot of people don't think about that though. They just look at it and go, okay, I can vape this, and that's just kind of how they roll with it. So, well, guys, we're getting towards the end here, kind of running down just to get to relaxing a little bit, just shooting the shit and everything. So, one thing I wanted to ask Jared before we kind of get out of here is, I know you talk about advocacy a lot. I know you it's one of those things that drives you. Yeah. But my main question to you about that is, what about the advocacy side of it drives you to want to do more? Because obviously you see on my show, my main goal is for people to want to do more, and if I can change one thought into somebody's head to where my opinion could open somebody's eyes to want to do more and to want to go out and change everything. There you go, Mike. And to where they want to go out there and spread the word of the positives of vaping, everything. So my question to you is, what drives you when it comes to the advocacy side of things? Honestly, I know where I was when I was smoking. Okay. I've got allergy issues. I've got, and I was sick all the damn time. Like, I would average 6 sinus infections a year. I'd get bronchitis twice a year. And it was the doctors, every fucking doctor I talked to was like, it's your smoking. You got to stop. You've got to stop. This shit's going to fucking kill you. And thankfully, my wife got a new car, and, my kid got to teach me about vaping. And within the first 9 months of it, I felt so much of a difference, and that's really when my eyes started opening up. It was just basically right before the whole comment survey period opened up, because I hadn't really educated myself so much on the advocacy side. But once that first bit of the comment period opened up, or the survey period, I think is what it was, that's when I kind of started looking at it. I was going, where are people going to be if they don't have this option? That was my initial driving force. And every time I talk to somebody, because I take a very grassroots approach. Yes, I talk about it on my YouTube. I get shit for it all the time, and I don't care. But I take a much more grassroots effect with it as well. When I'm able to drive, because I can't drive a whole lot, but when I'm able to drive, I go to vape shops and I talk to people. I let the businesses conduct their business, let them sell their stuff, let them, do whatever they need to do and answer questions. But I talk to people. I pull people aside, and 90% of the time you get almost hatred from it because everybody's too damn busy. Ain't nobody got time for this shit. But my whole thought behind it's really simple. You plant the seed of knowledge.
That's what you got to do. That's why I push so hard. It's not about winning the initial battle. It's about, winning the war of it. You plant that seed, you let that thought just build and cultivate and just grow in their head. And that is really how you win the public opinion thought, because just as well as I do, you go into a fucking vape shop and you see so many people that have no idea what's going on in the industry. And it's either because the vape shop ain't got time for it, the employees are uneducated about it, or the customer base itself doesn't give a shit. But they will give a shit if the device isn't there anymore, because then it's the vape shop's fault. Well, no, it's not the vape shop's fault. It's the supplier's fault, and it's the company's fault, and it's that the vape shop's the back end of the whole thing. So if you teach them, hey, this is what the government is trying to do, this is what's going on right now, this is what we've got to do. Like I have actually friended people on Facebook at vape shops, just standing right there, phone to phone, friend them on Facebook, and I'll send them links to senators and and representatives and local jurisdictional contacts. Some I literally had one lady actually damn near scream at me in a vape shop saying that she didn't have time for the shit. She was on her lunch break and had to take her kid to soccer camp and had to do dinner and blah 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 blah. The usual kind of just pissed off. And then 3 months later, I bumped into her again at the same vape shop. And she actually thanked me and said that she has been daily messaging or emailing every single person involved in the state of Missouri, just blowing them the fuck up. She showed me her email, and she was like, I didn't realize it. She says, I researched it a couple days later, and I realized I was actually quite the bitch to you, and I'm sorry about that. I was like, oh, cool, thanks, It's those little wins, though. That's how we can change the opinion, because right now that's what the government's doing. They're destroying the court of public opinion. And that's what we have to win back. We have to win back the thoughts of the public, basically stating, understanding that, no, this isn't the evil that the government's making it out to be. Because that's what they think. That's what 90% of the people out there think. Vaping's just going to fucking make you grow an arm out of your asshole or make you grow some weird green tumor on your forehead, and it's going to, addict every kid like cocaine, that's how they act.
That's what I always tell people. The time of getting vapors to do advocacy is over. It's over. It's done.
Yeah.
We had that time within the last year, and we've seen it improve. We've seen things happen, but now is a different time. And the main thing we need to do is we need to change the public opinion of vaping. Because it's gotten so tarnished and so beaten to shit to where we need to inform the non-smokers. We need to inform the people who are smokers and are scared to start vaping. We need to inform them that everything that they're hearing through the mass media is mostly just shit.
Yeah.
There's no research behind the allegations they're putting out. There's nothing legible in there.
I agree.
And that's the main thing. Advocacy is good always. It's always good. But activism is what this industry needs right now. We need people actually getting off their ass, not being keyboard warriors, and actually talking to people. Social interaction. Not social media, not anything through a computer. You need to actually stand in front of them face to face and tell them.
I agree.
You're not going to show emotion through a keyboard.
No,
You're not going to show
thinks
passion. You're not going to show emotion, because people's opinion might change with them seeing the passion you have in this industry.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's I got called a fearmonger so many times last year. I'm not kidding you, just because of the advocacy thought. Because I feel I'm one of those people that I kind of see it coming, and sometimes you don't see it coming. And the one thing, everybody looked at Gottlieb as always the devil. Okay, Gottlieb was a fucking meat shield. Okay, but you got to give the guy credit that he's probably one of the best chess players ever. Okay, truth be told, because if you look how Gottlieb, he had this multi-step, slow stage attack against the industry. And every time somebody thought that, okay, this is where Scott's aimed at, he'd come at you from the side. And I kept telling people, if you're looking at what he's doing, you're not seeing the big picture. You're absolutely not. And the one thing that Gottlieb focused on more than anything else was public opinion. That was the one scary thing, because he used those keywords that helped keep the FDA involved. He used those keywords of, epidemic and crisis. and just outbreak and things of that nature. And he just absolutely put himself out there on Twitter and on the news and everything else, talking about how bad the vaping epidemic was and how terrible it is. And, it's a massive crisis. And those are the scary keywords that the general public that aren't educated in this type of stuff, that's the stuff that they look at and they go, oh, God, oh, man, why would he lie? He has no reason to lie. Scott Gottlieb and Pfizer. I mean, the man literally played the ultimate game of chess in a 9-month period. Like, he just literally started in February of last year and went 9 fucking months. And in that 9 months, he absolutely destroyed vaping publicly. But then he didn't do the final push, which is why he basically got kind of edged out, in my opinion. And even though Ned Sharpless isn't 100% anti-vape, he sure as hell isn't going to go against his boss. I mean, hell, we saw that as soon as the FDA was approached about, are you going to appeal the whole, the whole court case? Nope. What did Sharpless say? Nope. This should be plenty of time for the PMTAs to be pressed through. And it's like everybody's going, oh, maybe the FDA, maybe. No, come on,
wipe
dude.
Their hands with it, saying we're not getting anybody more involved in this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he basically just stood there and said, sorry, my boss said no. Yeah, I mean, it sucks. It's like everybody wants to put their faith in that next guy and that next guy. And, the grass will be greener if Gottlieb's out. No, the fuck it won't. At least Gottlieb was dragging his ass about it,
There's only one thing that you guys should be putting your faith in this industry, and that's your information you're getting and where you're getting it from and your voice. That's the only thing you need to put faith into in this industry, because you're the one that's going to change the public opinion. Everybody watching here, you're the ones that are going to be changing the public opinion of the people who are not aware of what vaping actually is.
Yeah, it's like I tell people often, who's the one person you can count on? Yourself.
I'm not going to be the one changing this industry. I'm not.
Yeah.
Jared's not going to be the one changing this industry. Do you know who the people are that are going to be the ones changing in this industry? The people watching this video. The people watching these YouTube channels that are people who are promoting vaping and people who are doing activism, advocacy, and all that stuff. Those are the people that are watching those viewers. They're the ones that are going to be going out there and changing the world.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody wants to look to the next guy.
We're just here to put that thought into your head. The rest of what is going on is up to you.
Yeah,
we're doing our part. Now time for you to do yours. Because without you doing your part, this industry won't be around this time next year. There's a chance this industry won't be around by the end of this year. That's how things are going right now.
It's going to be hurt. Ain't no getting around that. This industry is about to become...
I think it's, 280 something days now?
Somewhere right around there. And the crazy part about it is that, the big question, the one big question that everybody asks right now is, what are they going to go after? What's their focus? And what has their focus been for the last year and a half? Well, for the last, let's say year and a half. Pod systems, high nic salts, all-in-one kits. That's been their focus. That's been the scary vaping devices. That's been the scary thing, the easily concealable, ultra portable, That's the stuff that I personally feel that they're wholeheartedly going to chase down.
Yeah, they're going to chase that down, but do you know what that means that they're chasing down? The biggest thing that is getting people to make the transition. Mm-hmm. Those systems and those things are the biggest things that are getting people off of smoking.
Yeah, and see, I've had a lot of talks with people in the background in Zoom rooms and hangouts and shit like that, and just general chatting back and forth. And the one thing that's really more scary than anything else is if the pod systems go away, okay? If the companies are at the point of going belly up and losing their ass, what does that leave them open to? Being bought out. And who's going to be the one to buy them out? Probably Big Pharma. Big damn possibility of it. And what do you think that they're going to classify that device as the moment they buy that company out? A tobacco cessation device.
It will instantly get rid of being a tobacco product and be a nicotine cessation device.
Exactly. All of a sudden, vaping won't be bad as long as your insurance company is willing to pay the price for it. That's the shitty part of it, because the truth of it is it's just like you said, pod systems are the easiest device to use for transitioning. Do I like pod systems? No, I personally don't. I love all-in-one kits because I think that with the right all-in-one kit, it can grow with its user. It can start as a transitioning device, and it can still be a functional device a year down the road. So I do dig all-in-one kits, but that's something that they're going to go after because it's an easily concealable device. It's something a kid can drop in their pocket and take to school with them, and that's the scary terminology. So yeah, I mean, it's one of those. They're going to go after these companies, and these companies aren't going to sit there and just go, oh, well, I'm going to put a bunch of money in the PMTAs just to make sure that my all-in-one kit's there. They're just going to stop fucking making them. And the companies that are solely based making these pod systems are going to be at the point of going belly up, and they're going to be sitting there going, what the fuck do we do now? We can't sell our shit, and they're going to have a company, like Pfizer or like Altria or any of these, not really Altria because that's more big tobacco than anything, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, one of these big pharma companies come jump in, and they're going to be like, hey, we'll give you, 40 cents on the dollar to buy your ass out so you don't go bankrupt. And then boom, all of a sudden vaping's fine as long as it's covered by insurance. So that's just my opinion. Because, I mean, obviously nicotine cessation or tobacco cessation devices right now suck ass, okay? In any way, shape, or form,
There's one thing that we can do to convince you that they do suck ass. Chantix.
Exactly. Oh, my fucking God, exactly. I mean, there's so many products out there that say that they can help you stop smoking, and none of them fucking work worth a shit. Vaping is the one thing that is proven to be an excellent transitioning device to get somebody away from all the fucking chemicals and all the bullshit and just everything that's just fucking them up. And it's the one thing that's hurting them. So if they can hurt it enough to where they get the highest grossing part of the market, I have a feeling that they're not really going to so much chase down all the hobbyists, but they're sure as hell going to fucking attack the piss out of the transition, because that's where the money's at. I mean, you look at the percentage of how much Juul is compared to the rest of the industry. And Juul's like 82% of the industry as far as the finances go? If Juul gets bought out by Big Pharma, that's 82% of the financial gross from the vaping industry. There's no need to kill the vaping industry at that point. Just damage it enough. And then all of a sudden, now it's a pharmaceutical product. Have a nice day. So just my opinion anyway. Take it for what it's worth.
That's what we always tell you guys, everybody watching. We always just to stay informed.
Yeah.
And just share the knowledge with the masses. That's all we tell you. That's all we ask from you. We don't ask you to go out of your way and go to most of these meetings, but if you want to go to these meetings, go right ahead. Go to these legislative meetings and tell your story to these legislators. Email your legislators. That's a great thing to do. I wouldn't advise anybody not to. But the main thing that needs to happen right now is the public opinion of vaping needs to change.
Yeah. Right now, the vaping industry is literally lit on fire, dancing around in a driveway, screaming some kind of obscure rain dance, hoping to get pissed on. That's literally where we're at right now. And that I know that sounds like an over-the-top way to describe it, but it's the fucking truth. We're not even in between the rock and the hard place. We're being smashed by the rock at the hard place. So it's frustrating.
Anthony says it perfectly. Stay informed and inform others.
Exactly. Plant the seeds of knowledge. That's the biggest key, guys. Plant the seeds of knowledge to anyone and everyone. It doesn't matter if they smoke, if they don't smoke, if they already vape, if they have some education or no education at all. If you just plant the seeds of knowledge, give them facts, give them truth. Don't give them bullshit. Don't give them your biased opinion about vaping, because that's the one thing that will push people away more than anything else. You put charts in front of them, even though it's boring shit, and most people will want to walk the fuck away and be like, what the fuck is this guy's problem?
Give them personal experience.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, your personal experience, your ability of saying, you know what, this got me off of so many years of smoking, and I actually feel better about this. Here's the proof to show, that this actually does work.
This is working, and this is what is actually happening to this industry right now.
Yeah. I love using the
Don't
UK.
give them articles. Don't give them, legislations of studies and everything. No. If you're knowledgeable enough to read those studies and kind of dumb it down for those people, so to say, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're able to, that's what needs to happen. More these studies that are coming out need to be explained to the masses in simpler terms.
Yes, I agree. God, do I agree with that?
Because if we can dumb it down and simplify it to maybe a 1-paragraph thing, people will instantly read that, be able to willing to read that paragraph and be like, okay, I completely understand.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Cliff notes for vaping.
Pretty
much. Yep.
It's that simple, though. What do they say? Keep it simple, stupid?
Yes, sir.
Exactly. That's what it is. Okay, guys, I think we're gonna wrap it up there. I'd like to thank everybody for coming and chat. I know I've seen a lot of new people come in. I've seen a decent amount of new subscribers. Thank you, Jared, for bringing your guys in here.
Yeah.
Help me out. And
sub to this motherfucker. He's a good dude. He's a damn good dude.
I'd like to thank Jared again for coming on, taking time out of his day to hang out, just have us shoot the shit with everybody.
Yeah.
We're shooting the shit, telling stories, telling experiences, and just trying to inform people.
Yeah, now I'm going to go light myself on fire and do the rain dance.
Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, guys, before we head out, just always do that. Always, you have to inform others. We have to change the public opinion of vaping. It's not a, oh, I'll do this later. No, it's this needs to happen now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't wait for the next person.
No.
Don't think that the next person's got your back.
No, don't think that this person's going to do it. I don't need to do anything.
Right.
Because that person is thinking the exact same thing. And what happens? Nobody does anything, and then vaping is gone.
Well, yeah, look at the petition right now. Look at the petition. It's pathetic. Because everybody's got that mindset right now of, oh, well, the next person will sign it. I don't need to worry about it right now. The petition has got such a god-awful turnout. It's even worse than the comment in the survey period. It's like, oh, dear God, we can't even appeal a fucking court ruling, for fuck's sake.
And guys, we're in a tough situation, but if we all fight back and we all stay positive and we all show our resilience, we can win this. We're fighting a losing fight, but if you're losing, you can still win.
Yeah. You got to look at the future at this point.
The show's not over until the fat fucking lady is sung. And god damn it, if I'm the fat lady, I'm not done singing yet. I'm going to leave you guys with that. Have that image in your head. Jared, I'd like to thank you again for coming
Thanks for having me, bud.
Thank everybody in chat for coming in. And guys, stay informed and just keep fucking vaping. That's it. Hope you all have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you guys Wednesday for my next episode of What's in the News with Mr. Sean Typhon, the Angry Hippie. We'll see you all then. Have a good one, everybody.
Peace, love, and chicken grease.